Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Thursday, July 23rd. This is Gina McGuire. We are still expecting no significant impacts to fire potential across the Great Basin. Showers and thunderstorms today will be pushed a little further east and north, but still occur across most of Idaho and Wyoming into northwest Utah and parts of northern and central Nevada, but will still bring wetting rains. This will still likely generate increased initial attack across the northern Great Basin. However, the potential for large problem fires still remains low due to the moisture in place. Yesterday we saw quite a bit of lightning over the northern two-thirds of the Great Basin, with wetting rains widespread across the area, where most areas saw at least 1/4 of an inch of rainfall, and many areas across Nevada into Idaho saw over 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of rainfall, and localized areas seeing above an inch with some flash flooding. Yesterday, due to the rainfall, even though there was lightning, it was generally light initial attack across the Great Basin. The water vapor satellite image from Thursday morning shows this trough of low pressure along the west coast, which is helping to push that deeper moisture slightly further east today, with low fire potential in all areas due to the moisture we've seen recently and what's upcoming for today and tomorrow. Temperatures for today will be similar to what we saw yesterday and generally a few degrees below average. And today the better chances of more significant wetting rains with the lightning will be over parts of northeast Nevada and to far northwest Utah, Idaho, and parts of western Wyoming. There still are flash flood watches in effect today for western Wyoming. Now looking at the weather pattern on Friday and Saturday, drier air continues to move into southern and western portions of the Great Basin, with still some lightning over northeast Nevada into Idaho, Wyoming, and northwest Utah, with low fire potential as these thunderstorms will have rainfall associated with them. Temperatures on Friday will be similar to what we'll see today and still remain a few degrees below normal, again with that lightning coverage over the northern portion of the Great Basin. However, overall precipitation will likely remain lesser than what we've seen the last couple of days. By Saturday, a trough starts to drop into the Pacific Northwest, and this will again help to push that moisture further east, with still drying over Nevada and Utah, and some isolated thunderstorms continuing over parts of Wyoming and the central Idaho mountains. Temperatures may increase a degree or so on Saturday, but still remain just below normal. By Sunday into early next week, the trough develops along the west coast, and this will again push most of the moisture east, keeping dry conditions across Nevada and Utah. However, we may see some showers and thunderstorms return to Idaho from Sunday into Monday as this trough moves east across the area. Otherwise, by next week, after the trough passes, we'll continue to see dry weather across all areas of the Great Basin, and we'll see also fuels drying out as temperatures increase as a ridge of high pressure develops over the southwest and builds north into the Great Basin, bringing a return to above normal temperatures and very dry conditions with relative humidity down near 10% again in many areas. This will allow fire potential to return to low to moderate across the Great Basin. Overall precipitation amounts for today will generally be in the 1/10 of an inch to up to 1/4 of an inch range, anywhere from northeast Nevada into the northern Great Basin, and similar amounts on Friday. However, these amounts will likely be less than what we've seen recently. Looking at the fire danger indices across the Great Basin, conditions have been increasing with respect to ERCs over the southern half of the Great Basin due to the dryness we started to see yesterday. However, ERCs still remain below normal and below the 50th percentile in most locations. Looking at Idaho, we've seen drier conditions further north and ERCs are near normal in some areas. However, some of the wet weather we'll see over the next 2 days may allow those ERCs to decrease slightly. Live fuel moisture has still been on the downward trend over the last couple of weeks and is generally near normal across the Great Basin. As we move towards the later part of July into early August, as that stronger ridge of high pressure develops across the Great Basin, we'll likely see a return to above normal temperatures and drier conditions, at least initially, before some moisture starts to work into parts of the southern Great Basin as we move later in the first week of August. That concludes the briefing for today. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Otherwise, you can follow us on Twitter. Thank you for listening.